Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport, and we are back with the next Formula E race in Season 1 as we watch through all the action from that first year. Couple of changes for this race, or a couple of interesting facts. In fact, actually, there's only one driver change. Matthew Brabham is stepping in for Charles Pic at Andretti, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. I think he's very, very young at this point. The other interesting fact is this is the last race Frank Montagny ever took part in. He was disqualified because he had a cocaine derivative in his bloodstream. He was given a 2-year racing ban and, as far as I know, has never raced again since. So, party boy Frank Montagny is going to disappear from the series. Interesting to see who will fill his shoes. I'm sure we talked about it before, but I can't remember who actually steps in for him, and I can't be bothered to check. I'm back by candlelight, so you can barely see my face. That's better for you. So with that, remember to subscribe, and let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Hand side there is Oriol Servia for the Dragon Racing team. Over on the left hand side is going to be Sam Bird for the Virgin team, and it really was a strong performance from Oriol Servia to take that whole position away. There is Sam Bird then, second place for the Virgin squad. Third on the grid, Daniel Abt. I don't know how he managed to qualify third, because he clouted the wall on his way out of the pits, managed to drive around the circuit with a crabbing car and still managed to qualify in third place. Jarno Trulli starts in fourth position. He was at the back of the grid in Beijing, so things looking a lot better for the 2004 Monaco Grand Prix race.
So it's an interesting grid. Nicholas Prost actually got pole position, but had a grid place penalty because of the accident with Nick Heidfeld in the first round. Oriol Servia is therefore first on the grid. Probably the highest we'll ever see him. Sam Bird in second. Daniel Abt in third, which is surprising. Jarno Trulli fourth, again quite surprising. And Karen Chandok once again qualified very well in fifth. We'll see how all of these drivers get on and the rest of the field.
In Puntajaya, it's Oriol Servia on the right-hand side in the Dragon car on pole position. It's Sam Bird alongside him on the front row of the grid. Daniel Abt and Jarno Trulli are on row 2, with Karun Chandok and Nelson Piquet Jr. on row 3. The cars are all in position, and now we just wait for the red lights. Here they come. 31 laps of racing coming up. The 5 red lights are on, and we go green in Malaysia, and it's a good start from Servia. It's a good start from Chandok. It's a bad start from Daniel Abt. The Abt car sliding backwards through the field. Everyone's avoided him. Here's Sam Bird going for the lead of the race. Almost a touch between them, but Servia holds on. Trulli's up into third place then. Fourth is Nelson Piquet Jr. Fifth is Nick Heidfeld. A few cars cutting across the chicane. But what a terrible start that is for Daniel Abt. Look like he's got going again now, but all the way from third on the grid right to the back of the pack. Side-by-side action here as Stefan Sarazan attacks up the inside of Antonio Felix da Costa, and he goes through.
So a pretty clean start in Puntajaya. Daniel Abt was the biggest loser. His car just did not get off the grid. I don't know if he had some kind of issue or something like that. One driver change I forgot to mention. There were actually 2 driver changes. Antonio Felix da Costa, future champion, is racing for Amlin Aguri in place of Takuma Sato, who is now gone from Formula E. I think he only had 1 race. So, young Antonio Felix da Costa is in the grid. Nothing else changed at the front. Oriol Servia leads away from Sam Bird.
For Catherine Legg, it looks like she's had contact, certainly with something, perhaps with someone. We'll have to wait and see.
Front wing's gone, yep.
And she knows that she's retiring that car immediately, and that, facing the wrong way, is Matty Brabham down at the hairpin. Hopefully everyone's going to avoid him as well. Yellow flags are out down there, and everyone does just about squeeze through, and hopefully Brabham can get going again. But
so we have our first victims. Catherine Legg has spun. I don't know what happened to her. And we also have Matthew Brabham on his debut facing the wrong way at the hairpin. This will bring out the safety car. So it's starting to kick off.
Now here is the car, and it's, oh, she's gone to get past Cerruti and lost the back end as they come down into 7. And unfortunately,
that wasn't really on.
No.
Unfortunately, just locked the rears. That's the problem at the start of the race with the because the regen is it's not sure exactly how much you're going to get, so you've got to kind of play it by ear and adjust the brake balance, and obviously just caught Catherine out a little bit there, and there's the result.
And Michaela Cerruti, the innocent part.
Okay, so it was a pretty bad mistake. She's locked the brakes and taken out Michaela Cerruti with her. 2 female race drivers, and they've taken each other out on the first lap.
And all of that, unfortunately. And this is what happened to Matthew Brabham. He goes down the inside of Bruno Senna. Whoa, and he hits, I think, Nick Heidfeld as well, going into the hairpin. And again, that looked like a braking issue.
And Matthew Brabham does pretty much the same thing.
Makes the move to the inside.
Serbia goes defensive. And does he get the car stopped? Yes, he does. But Bird might have a good run here down towards turn 3.
Yeah, Sam Bird, much better exit.
He took a lot more speed in because he could take the wider line in. Surely he won't be able to go around the outside of turn 3 though. Serbia will just park the car on the apex. And oh, has he gone in too deep there? Bird gets the cutback. Great move from Bird, and he's got the inside line, and he's into the lead of the race. Brilliant move from Sam Bird. So, Bird leads, Serbia drops down to second.
So after the restart, we didn't have to wait long for a change for the lead, as Sam Bird makes a really good move on Oriol Servia, who makes a little mistake. I'm pretty sure Sam Bird wins this race. I just didn't realise he took the lead so early. It'll be interesting to see if he loses it at any point, or this is it. This is him charging off into the distance.
Try and go through as well as they come down towards turn number 3. Serbia will have the inside line though, but we've seen that before.
Let's see if he manages the cutback. No, not quite as good there.
But Heidfeld is pushing hard, and Heidfeld might be able to take advantage of that past Nelson Piquet Jr. Not quite close enough. Montani chasing in as well. This is brilliant racing, isn't it? They're absolutely nose to tail.
One tiny mistake there and you're losing 2 places. It's Frank in the inside again. He did the same earlier, didn't he?
And they've made contact this time, and Heidfeld's out. Surely that has broken Heidfeld's steering.
Frank just parked it.
And that could be the end of the race for Nick Heidfeld. Certainly looks like it.
Why does everyone hate Nick Heidfeld? I don't know what he's done wrong. Has he slept with everyone's wives? Because everyone seems to have it in for him. At this point, Oriol Servia has been dropping back. He's lost a couple more places. And we have our first Trulli train of the season, as Jarno Trulli leads a pack of about 9 cars. It's a pretty good battle in the midfield. And it's our friend, the cocained to the eyeballs Frank Montagny, who dive bombs Heidfeld and leads him into the wall. So Heidfeld is out, and Sam Bird is pulling away in front.
From Karun Chandok as we come over the line to start lap 12 of 31.
Karun has not been scared to be aggressive. If he gets close enough, look out for a big old move there.
Down into the first corner, not quite close enough this time around. Just 0.3 of a second between them. But Sam Bird had a 2.5 second margin as they crossed the line. He absolutely nailed that restart.
That was a belter, wasn't it? It was great for him, not quite so good for Trulli.
Oriol Servia there in the black and silver Dragon car. We go on board with Nelson Piquet Jr. behind him, looking to the inside line, down into the right-hander of 4.
So after the restart, Sam Bird has pulled a 2.5 second gap on second place Jarno Trulli, straight from the safety car. I don't know if Jarno Trulli was asleep, but he somehow managed to let Sam Bird just go. Not much is changing as we head to the midway point and the car swapping. We'll see if anything changes.
And there's Nelson Piquet Jr. in a big moment of sideways action. Just about keeps it together. Montani's in the wars again. His front wing's gone. Bruno Senna says, what was that? And it all kicked off because Nelson Piquet Jr. lost the back end of the car as they now come around the final corner.
We've got Sam Bird well ahead and then everybody else within spitting distance of each other.
So Frank Montagny's at it again, although this time it was caused by Nelson Piquet losing it. Frank Montagny just gets stuck in the middle and hits Bruno Senna, loses his front wing. He's pretty much not going to feature from this point onwards. The midfield behind Trulli is still pretty tight. There's some good squabbling going on, just not a lot of overtaking.
Well, seem to have had a drama. Maybe he's just found reverse or something like that. He's very frustrated.
He hasn't hit anything.
And maybe he's gone in straight into the barrier. We'll have to wait and see. And who's that off to the right hand side? Oh no, it's just they're coming in the pits. That's what it was. I thought Senna had gone off, but actually everyone was coming into the pits. So Trulli's in, Chandok's in, Servia's in, Piquet Jr.'s in. So Sam Bird has stayed out, as has Bruno Senna. So they're the men to watch out for.
Now let's see if anybody does what happened last time and jumps a few cars. It's about the minimum speed in pit lane as much as because there's a minimum time you're allowed to have. and I think we'll see that strategy. And you've got to 1 kilometre an hour above it, or a fraction if you can be that accurate. Heidfeld nailed it in China.
So there is Antonio Felix da Costa, who's come in. He was running down in 10th.
So Matthew Brabham has another incident. So we can pretty much scratch off his debut as a disaster. And now we have the first of the pit stops as well. And this time we do get a bit of interesting strategy, as Sam Bird has saved energy and is going to go a lap longer, meaning he has more power to use in the second half of the race. Daniel Abt will actually lead the way for a while because he came in to swap cars early because of an issue with his first car. He has a lot less power than everyone else and will struggle to make it towards the end of the race. Otherwise, it's as it was, and Sam Bird will be leading the actual pack, with Trulli still in second, with de Grassi, Chandhok and PK all in around him as well. Oriol Servia seems to have dropped back into oblivion. We probably won't see too much of him from this point onwards. Bruno Senna is thereabouts as well. That pack behind Trulli is going to be tight for the rest of this race, I imagine.
De Grassi, as he comes across the line, he's not quite using the full 150 kilowatts. Moves towards the inside line. How close is he to Nelson Piquet Jr. in front of him? Oh, very close, and that's Piquet Jr. off. Collides with Jarno Trulli on the way down towards the first corner, and that allows Lucas de Grassi to come through. Nelson Piquet Jr. might be out of the race. He's slowing.
Front tyres are towed in there. He's broken the front.
I don't know what the hell happened there, and I have absolutely no idea how Nelson Piquet wins this championship. That looked messy. And the other thing is that the EDAMS cars have appeared out of nowhere. I haven't really seen them all race, and all of a sudden they're right at the top of the field. So, God knows what's going on.
Yeah, here's a look at the replay. So, Trulli moved across on Piquet, and
That's not on, is it? No. I don't know if he knew he was there or what, but Piquet's race is ruined because of the inattention. You can't go to the inside and then drive back to the outside. That's, yeah.
Yeah, that's an error from Jarno Trulli there, whether he knew Piquet was there or not.
Piquet was looking strong there. He was. Really strong.
That was the view from the back of Lucas de Grassi's car. Everything else was...
So yeah, that was definitely dirty from Jarno Trulli. And it ruins both their races. Lucas de Grassi is the luckiest man in all of motorsport, as he inherits 2 more places from an accident that he has nothing to do with. And both EDAMs are now hunting him down as we head into the end game of this race. And Bruno Senna and Karun Chandhok are somewhere behind.
And this would, of course, be interesting because it would keep Lucas de Grassi at the top of the championship. But Sam Bird would move up into second place in the championship, having finished third in the opening round in Beijing. But this is a good run from the Virgin crew, and he's still got way more battery left than anyone else. He's on 33%, a good 8% more than Lucas de Grassi in second place. So that's very, very interesting.
He's running the perfect strategy, as I said, keeping something in hand just in case he needs it. Got de Grassi, great job again from the back of the grid.
And Buemi came with them, of course.
Yeah, good point.
They were 18th and 19th on the grid, de Grassi and Buemi, and they're going to finish this race by the looks of it in second and third positions. In exactly what order of second and third, we've still got a couple of laps to find out. We're on the penultimate lap of racing here in Malaysia, in the second round of the FIA Formula E Championship, and it has been absolute.
So again, not a lot of overtaking, but the battle between de Grassi and Buemi, something we will see for the next few years really, has been pretty intense, and de Grassi has defended very, very well. Sam Bird is so far clear, I don't think any other driver has actually seen him in the whole race. Not much else is going on at this point. Senna is ahead of Prost, and I think Chandhok is somewhere behind them. And Daniel Abt is finally starting to drop back as he runs pretty close on his energy.
Pushing hard, but no matter how hard anyone pushed, they couldn't stop Sam Bird, who exits the final corner and wins in Puntajaya the second round of the FIA Formula E Championship. It's victory for Sam Bird and Virgin. Delight on the pit wall for the team. Second place for Lucas de Grassi. It's third for Sebastian Buemi. Fourth across the line is his EDAMS teammate Bruno Senna. And fourth... his EDAMS teammate Nico Prost, I should say. Then it'll be Jerome D'Ambrosio in fifth, and there is Bruno Senna. Good to see him out of the car, because that was a hefty impact there.
Big hit, and that was one of the points that the drivers talked about. They didn't want to go off there.
So Sam Bird wins in Malaysia, a dominating victory. He couldn't have done any better, and he is in a strong place in the championship, as is Lucas de Grassi, who finished second. They both have 2 strong results from 2 races. Sebastian Buemi, he is in third, and Nico Prost fourth. Senna was ahead of Prost, but he's had a big crash on the last lap. I actually looked away and didn't see it, but there is a replay and we'll go look at that in a second. Big shame for him because he was doing really well in this race.
A great job against de Grassi Buemi on the podium from the back of the grid.
Yeah, really strong stuff as the cars continue to make their way around. Have we got any more battles to be resolved? Well, let's have a look at this. He just throws it into turn 9.
Looked like he lost him there.
Yeah, maybe he was just... Maybe that was his last...
Okay, so Bruno Senna just lost it on his own chasing Sebastian Buemi. So, his fault. So, that's the end of the race. Sam Bird is your winner, with Lucas de Grassi second, Sebastian Buemi in third. It was a pretty decent race. The best action was definitely in the midfield, especially when we had the Trulli train. Later on when we had de Grassi versus Buemi as well. It was still not amazing, and I'm expecting better races to come. Round 3 is in Uruguay, and I am very much looking forward to that one. So let's go over the championship standings quick. So after 2 very good races, Lucas de Grassi leads the way with Sam Bird in second. They've pulled a gap on Frank Montagny, Nicolas Prost and Jerome D'Ambrosio, who we haven't even really seen much of yet. Title challengers Nelson Piquet and Sebastian Buemi are missing from the standings. In the Teams Championship, we have Audi leading the way from Virgin, with Dams now in third, with Andretti and Dragon chasing them. The next round of the championship is in Punta del Este in Uruguay. I will cover that very, very soon. So in the meantime, you should definitely subscribe as we head for 500. Leave a comment, share your thoughts, like and share the video. Thank you for watching and have a good one.